Hey, welcome back. Today I want to break down some salon scenarios that really happen in real life and what stylists have to endure in this industry. A lot of people think it's just, they listen. The industry is so one-sided where we always hear the complaints of these unprofessional stylists. High stylists, they not on time. They charge too much, and all these different, they have so many fees. They have to pay a deposit. It's so many things that we hear that's negative that make people feel like they don't want to go to the salon. Like they used to say back in the day, it's two sides to every story. I was looking on the internet and I seen a clip. So this client comes in the salon and they're sitting in the salon with their shoes off. And while they're sitting there, they got their shoes off and they're eating some burritos, right? One of the messiest foods you can eat in a salon. And a lot of times, when salon owners or suite owners, we buy real dainty, soft, stainable things for our salon. And a lot of the things we buy, it either can get, if it can get stained bad or it can hold odor. Okay. So this client is sitting here eating these burritos with her feet out. And I want to give you a quick rundown before we watch the video. So she's eating these burritos. She got her feet all up with her toes out. And the stylist just getting frustrated. And she's like, hey, can you close them burritos up? Because it smells like fish in here. Like, sometimes food have an odor. And she was like, it was making the salon smell a certain way. And she said, well, I'm eating. The client, she's eating. And she said, I know you're eating, but I need you to, kind of wrap it up. I let you sit here for 15 minutes to eat, but I need you to wrap it up because I got clients coming after you and we haven't started your hair. And she said, I just need you to wrap it up. And she was like, the client was like, well, you ain't have a problem with it last time. She said, look, it's like you doing it all the time now. Sometimes, so let me say this, because a lot of times, a lot of stylists is so scared to tell some of you guys what they don't like, and they think because they know that it'll makes people offended, and so they'll let them do something that they know they're not comfortable with, and then if they see the client sometimes, because in hopes that the client won't keep doing it. But this client just kept doing it. Every time she came to get her hair done, she's sitting there eating in front of the stylist. This whole scenario with this client seems very rude to me and self-centered. I just was taught that I don't just come eat in front of people like that. Especially if I'm coming to a stylist and I'm eating some food. I'm gonna call and ask them, do you want something to eat or some? I not knowing if my stylist hadn't eaten that day, and she just come every day on her. Every time she have an appointment, she got a meal, eating it like that with her shoes off, just getting comfortable like she at home, and then dropping burrito juice all over the couch and stuff that's gonna really stain. She like, well, you didn't have a problem with it last time. So she said, I just need you to wrap it up because I'm ready to do your hair. And then the lady just seems to move slower and slower. At this point, the stylist is agitated and she can't take anymore. She says, you know what? I'm going to cancel your appointment and I'm not giving you a deposit back. We're going to watch the video and I just want y'all opinion. Who's right and who's wrong? And how should they have handled this situation? I would love for some of the professionals to chime in. I would love even if you're not a professional in hair, just an office professional. because it's a certain type of etiquette that I feel like not just stylists should have, but I feel like clients should have as well. Let's watch the video and then we're going to get into it.
Calls out customer for eating birria tacos during her session.
That's not my issue, ma'am. Can you please close that up? And you already got the whole place in here smelling fishy. So can you go ahead and put that away and come on out and see? But not today, ma'am. Cause you always bring in food and eating this shit before I do your... Okay, I need you to close this up so I can go ahead and start your hair. I'm gonna end up having to just reschedule because I'm not finna keep going back and forth with you.
You can't reschedule my appointment because I already told you that I had got food and I was hungry.
Okay, that don't have nothing to do with me, ma'am. You have an appointment and your appointment was about 15 minutes ago and I've been sitting here letting you finish eating. Now you're going too far.
Why are you upset?
Because you need to come on. I told you I got other clients. They on their way. And you holding me up.
I'm finna close it up, but you being rude as hell.
This is too much.
Closing it up now. You don't want to do my hair.
I'm not doing your hair and you're not getting your deposit back. It's your shit and go.
No.
Hairdresser calls out customer for eating.
So, watching the video, and I guarantee this lady is a shop hopper. She hopping from shop to shop because nobody's not going to tolerate that. To me, when you go in a salon, if the ambiance don't show, if the ambiance is not saying, I can sit here and eat this food like this, don't do it. It's almost like you going to somebody's house. You just going to go in their house and start eating birria tacos. You're going to start dropping your juice of the birria tacos everywhere. And to me, it was almost an insensitivity. It was like almost like I'm a brag. I'm trying to brag and let you know I got money to eat. Because a lot of times, a lot of these stylists ain't even ate yet. They still doing hair. You know, it's the insensitivity for me. Like when you came, you couldn't say to my stylist, hey, did you want something to eat? Are you hungry? Are you thirsty? You know, but I'm going to come and start eating birria tacos in front of you. And then you're going to have to wait till I'm done. Because I'm paying $300 or $400. So you have to wait. That's not how that goes. And then when the stylist say, well, I need you to come on because I need to do your hair. And you have an attitude like, well, you need to wait. No. You paid for a time. When you got a stylist that's on time, she's there for you. She's ready to do your hair. It's your time to sit in the chair. You decide to bring birria tacos and start eating them in front of her. And make her wait on you. See that type of client to get on the internet and make a bad comment. But to me personally, the stylist temperament, you could tell she was fed up. And that's why I hate she waited so long. She should have checked her the first time. Because now she feel like you picking on her because you let her eat in there before. If your rules is no eating in the salon, because a lot of people will eat their food. I'm talking about, and I know this from experience. They will waste their juice. That you got your nice little couch. They will waste their juice on your couch. They will put their gum. They will wipe they ketchup fingers all on your white chairs. Something extremely wrong with some of us. I'm gonna be honest. The poverty mentality in us and the jealousy is so strong. Some of us will do stuff like that. Matter of fact, I have a friend. You know, they was smoking weed. And they was sitting all on her couch and sofa. And they had the scent of the marijuana all over them. And it's like odors carry. And you sitting there with all that, and that means the next person sit down, they'll be reeking marijuana. Suppose it's a professional client that you trying to impress. And they gotta sit there and smell that nasty marijuana and Black and Miles. You know, and we work hard we try to get those aesthetics so you guys could be comfortable, look nice. Good. But I will tell you, clients will mess your stuff up. Some of them will be so angry because they look at that and think you balling out of control, and they don't even realize you making payments. You making payments on that, and that's why you protective of it. You know, but you don't have to tell people your business, but that's why you protective of it, because you don't want them to mess it up. You ain't even finished paying for it yet. It's just like when people forget how they are, like when you put stuff on layaway. Imagine you get It's almost like a Rick James situation where you sitting in on her chair, on her floor, in her salon, and you like, F your salon, nigga. F your salon. I'm finna put my feet up in here. I got my crusty feet. I'ma have my feet up. I'ma eat these burrito tacos, and you gonna deal with it, nigga. That's exactly what that lady was doing. Okay? And that's how it comes off. And it's very rude. Okay? But she don't see nothing wrong with it because she feel like I'm paying you. So you supposed to take everything I give you. And they don't realize we have a choice. You don't have to be our client. And we don't have to service you. Because I'm not your slave. I'm a licensed professional. And if you don't want to pay me, then go home and do it yourself. Go home and eat burrito tacos while in your own house and drop the crab leg juice all on your counters and drop them all on the floor. I need you to clean it up because clients will do that, mess your shop up, fill your garbage cans full of that stuff, and leave your shop smelling stinking nasty and have trash everywhere. A lot of salons just say we don't want any eating in here because they remember what they would do. What a lot of these stylists have experienced from the clients. Now, true enough, and let's just touch back on it because I don't want to seem one-sided. Because we need to understand both sides from the client's point of view. Because she has a point of view. She may be thinking eating in the salon is not a big deal. She might be thinking, I came from work, I'm tired, and I'm hungry, and I want something to eat. She might feel like she's being rushed because she had to come to that appointment, and so she grabbed her some food and came on time so that she wouldn't be late and charged a late fee. She eating the food because she's so hungry. She might not pay attention to how bad it smells or what odors are coming from it. And then just the last but not least, she just might not have a lot of etiquette and she don't know how to handle herself in public places. And she's just insensitive to salon etiquette or the rules of the salon and she doesn't care. But this is the key. Once the stylist made a request, it was up to the client to adhere to the request because that's her salon. That's her establishment. And when she gave pushback, like I don't have to listen to you, you peasant, I'm going to eat. That initially changed the vibe. At that point, when the stylist asked her to stop eating and she didn't adhere to that, it wasn't even about awareness at that time. Awareness was all out the door. It was about respect and boundaries. Boundaries were set. She didn't want to listen. And because she didn't want to listen, she gave that stylist no respect. Now let's talk about the stylist. So she working in that salon. The proximity between the stylist and the woman eating is pretty close. So she's smelling that food, and it could be making her nauseous. She could be pregnant because I remember when I was pregnant, I couldn't take a lot of those scents and odors. She could be allergic to the food that the woman's eating. You know, she could be allergic to shellfish. She could be allergic to peanuts, and so she's having the urgency for her asking her to, leave and leave those tacos. I mean, get rid of those tacos. Could be just her sensory and her trying to protect herself because she's allergic to the food. And we had, as stylists, we know too that eating in the salon is not healthy. Hair is always in the atmosphere. If it's a lot of the sickness and diseases tied into the salon environment when it comes to hair and germs. So she was really in a sense trying to be protective. That's a hygiene concern. Really, I didn't see anybody else in there, but it also could be a possibility that she's disrupting other clients' peace because a lot of different Caribbean foods have a strong smell. I remember one time I got my hair braided, and when I got my hair braided, it was by an African lady, and she went in her kitchen and she started cooking dinner because she told me to leave the salon and meet her at her house. And when I got to her house, she was cooking this meat. It was like a very dark meat. I don't even know what it was to this day, but the meat had a very strong odor. And I was struggling in there because she was pulling my hair, it was already too tight. And then she was eating something that I've never smelled before. And I had my headache was so strong. So, I could imagine if that client was in there, was a client in there that you also love and respect, and they're experiencing that disrespect, that disregard, it will be disruptive. It will be disruptive. And everybody else will feel bad and have to suffer because she want to eat burrito tacos. To me, it was a form of selfishness. Her actions as a client made the workspace uncomfortable. And see, a lot of times, clients are worried about their comfortability. They don't really care about if we're comfortable. At this point, the stylist was tired. She was at her breaking point because the client kept eating. Even though it felt rushed, the lady was I could tell she had had enough because she was already waiting 15 minutes. That's inconsiderate. Especially if she was there. If she was there waiting on that client was holding up the chair. Now we have two separate issues. One issue that we can focus on is that she not only did she cancel the hair appointment, but she kept the deposit. So this is what I want to talk about. Is that fair? Was canceling the appointment right? Short-term answer for me would be yes. Because at this point, if she got in her head, it was only going to get worse. Okay? A lot of times, if you got a strong-headed client like that and you're strong-headed, already you're clashing. And that stylist knew that they couldn't continue if the client is being disrespectful. If the client being disrespectful, to keep yourself out of trouble, at that point, the environment was compromised. The stylist herself probably didn't feel safe because everything shifted. And she probably felt unheard because her cries for not eating those burritos in the front of her establishment was not heard. I really believe the stylist was in there right. She did communicate with her to please put that food away. But when it comes to client's deposit, I feel like for her saying, I'm going to keep your deposit, I feel like that's unfair. Because if you don't have a policy set in place, and really if she could take her to court, she would win. Because if you didn't have a policy set in place in your policy or your bylaws for your salon that there's no eating in my salon, or you'll cancel, or it will, if you eat in the salon, there's a possibility of cancellation of your appointment, then it's unfair for you to keep her deposit. From a business standpoint, that's unfair. See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of y'all like to get the deposits and y'all be like, I ain't giving you a deposit back. But if you didn't set something in stone and said, hey, if you don't get in this chair by 20 minutes after your appointment time, your deposit will be lost. Or you didn't call and let me know before you come at this time. Let me know so your deposit don't get lost. A lot of you guys, a lot of y'all don't voice that. And you just want to hold on to the deposit. So not warning her about it didn't give her a fair opportunity, because if she knew from the get-go that she couldn't bring food, she wouldn't have bought food. The only thing your deposit was supposed to do was protect her time and her slot. It shouldn't be used as a form of punishment because you couldn't control her. Do you understand? So it's like A lot of times stylists feel like they could control you. You can't control that client. When you hold a deposit, and that's what we hold deposits for. We hold a deposit because we got a lot of people that the stylists don't talk about it, but we got a lot of no calls, no shows. That's why a lot of times they ask for deposits, because nowadays people will book up your appointment book and they won't show up. So a stylist could expect that they have 5 people that day. When they come to work, nobody comes. So, but it could have been somebody who really wanted to come that day and really was going to come through with the appointment, but they didn't get the slot because you got these same people just filling up your book. So that's why stylists take appointments with a deposit now. So that way, if you forfeit your appointment, they can still get something or be compensated for the time that they lost. So when you hold on to her deposit without giving her a clear understanding of what your rules is for that salon environment, you were wrong for that. I'm gonna say morally, if we're gonna look at it from a morally standpoint, I feel like the client was wrong. Because you don't come and eat in my house without my permission. Okay, you don't come take your shoes off in my house without my permission. That's no home training, and that's rude. So morally, the client was wrong. But I feel like professionally, the stylist was wrong, because you need clearer understanding of what your rules and bylaws and boundaries are in your establishment. If you don't have it clear and say, because some places just have no eating and drinking. Okay, you didn't give her a fair opportunity. She can't. You allowed her to eat before, and you allowed her to eat before while she was supposed to be in the chair. People are creatures of habit. So she felt like, I got away with it, I'm gonna keep doing it. And now you sitting over there looking mad, and you upset because and you watching her drop that Berea juice all on the floor and all in the chair, and it's stinking there. But you didn't set boundaries. You didn't set clear boundaries with her. So let's really look at it. Both of them, from my opinion, and you guys can tell me what you think, but from my opinion and my stand from this video, both of them was wrong. Both of them was wrong. The client was wrong. It was rude and disrespectful, and it was disrespecting the client's salon and workspace. Okay, and then it was just no consideration. So I think at that point, yeah, there was no consideration. It was rude, and I think for that very reason, the client, that very reason, the client was wrong. Let me tell you where the stylist went wrong. So the stylist went wrong for getting frustrated. You could hear it in her voice. The way she was speaking to that client, how she had her hand moving like that. You know, you see them tattoos of, you think, you like, wait, is she finna square up? Okay, so all that, I think she was a little too much with that, because she was still emotional about her furniture and about her space. Okay, so I don't think her initial um her initial speaking voice and trying to connect with that client to let her know that she didn't like it, it wasn't coming from a more professional place. So in that sense, I think that she can work on her professionalism just a little bit more. Secondly, is having clear boundaries and bylaws for your salon. Okay, and what you expect of your clients when they come to you. I don't want y'all drinking no cold drink. I don't want y'all vaping. We don't do hookah here. I don't want you eating in the break area. I mean, unless it's the break area. Okay, so it's a lot of things that she could have implemented, where that woman would understand and say, well, yeah, she does have rules, and I did not abide by them. And so and put it in an area where she can see it, and make sure you have it on your website so she could read it before she booked the appointment. So that way she don't feel like that she's that she can actually go and get something to eat first. And to be honest, she needs to have her rules like that when it comes to the deposit written out so that people know what to expect and know how to, move at this point. Because if you tell me if I bring some burritos, it's gonna mess my appointment up and you might not even do my hair, I won't have no burritos. So let me tell you how this should have been handled. Before the appointment even was started, that stylist should have set clear boundaries, okay, on what is acceptable and what is not. Basically saying no outside food or drinks in here. No eating on the salon floor. Before she even came to her appointment, that should have been cleared up with her. Secondly, is sending them text messages, sending them emails, about what you expect of them as they enter the salon suite. Let them know that failure to do so and failure to abide by the rules then will end up in a cancellation of your appointment. So, at this point, I just want to deal with the boundaries, the setting the boundaries of the stylist and where they could have actually handled that whole situation better from the first time. You want to address it calmly, okay? Because if you didn't have that listed in your booking confirmations, your website, or your text reminders, then a client possibly would walk in the salon with food and not know that they're not supposed to bring the food. So you really, in a sense, that's where you felt short, stylist. That's where you felt short because you didn't have those policies set in place. She didn't know. Okay, and so when she did the first time, don't play with these clients, because this is your business. So the first time she walked in there with that food, you just said real polite, "Hey, how you doing? Glad to see you. Glad you made your appointment time. Hey, just a reminder that just a reminder, we don't have food. We don't eat food during our services. So if you want, I don't know if you want to put it away or it's not allowed during services." That was friendly, clear, and professional. Okay. You could even say, and if the client said, "Well, wait a minute, we can't eat food in here. Why? I just went to McDonald's and just got me something real quick. I could just eat it real fast." You could say, "I won't be able to service you if you bring food in here. I won't be able to continue your appointment if the food doesn't stay out. I'm not ugly. I'm not doing all this hand gesturing. I'm just letting you know I won't be able to continue your appointment. Maybe you should reschedule." It's like it's no longer you suggesting that she doesn't bring the food. Now you're setting boundaries. You're not asking. I'm telling you, but I'm doing it in a more professional manner. I don't want no burrito juice on my furniture. Okay? And if the client still refuse, whoop her behind. No, I'm not playing. No, I'm not playing. Don't whoop her behind. Just say, "I'm just going to have to cancel your appointment." Okay, I'm going to have to cancel your appointment if she still refuses, if she doesn't want to abide by the salon rules, because that's the salon rules. And I can't allow you to eat in here. You're not yelling. You're not showing her no attitude. You just saying it calm and you just enforcing your boundaries and being respectful with it. If she doesn't know how to receive it well, then that's on her. But at least you let her know what it is before she came. You want to apply the policy at all times. Don't have sometimes you got your friends in there, you got one of your old school clients, they in there doing it, and then she come in there next time and see her eat, and she gonna like, "Well, you didn't let me eat." Be consistent with everybody across the board. You can't eat in here or your appointment will be canceled. Okay? And you need to just maintain your professionalism at all times, even during disputes. Because the situation really wasn't about the food. It really was about the boundaries, the communication, and really respect of the establishment. You have to run your business like a business so that they can respect you. Let's take back our industry and stop allowing anything and everything in the salon, and then being sometimey and picky and choosy. If you have a policy, abide by that policy and make it standard for everyone so that nobody feels like you're picking on them or they're being ostracized. Make all your policies clear. Be consistent in enforcing your policies. Don't be scared. Be persistent. Okay? They gonna get tired of you being persistent, and they won't do it. Then you have clients even saying, "Hey, you can't eat it here." If they see a client that's not following the rules, and control your emotions, because I could tell if that client gave you any more pushback, it was gonna be throwing other hands. Okay. So in y'all opinion, who was right? In my opinion, the client was wrong for ignoring the request of the stylist. The stylist was right to set her boundaries. And the stylist was right to even cancel. But I disagree with her holding her deposit. I feel like the stylist could have stayed more calmer. I thought the stylist could have gave very clear warnings and not be so aggressive and pushy, but just give clear warnings. And again, have rely on a written policy set so that way you can show that client we don't allow you to eat in here. Okay? Not just because last time you ate and it stunk and this time, and I don't know what you own, but you just keep coming in here eating. I don't want you eating. Period. Nobody should be eating. So keeping your policy standards clear that everyone follows them and reinforce those policies. And at the end of the day, just showing respect. Respect doesn't come. I know a lot of clients feel like that stylists aren't respectful, and they deserve all the praise and respect. But respect comes both ways. We expect respect from you as well, and we have policies and things set in place. You know, we don't need to be pushed back and humiliated and shamed or whatever, because we want to run a professional business. And stylists, be on time, be professional, keep the salon clean, um, consider the client. And if you want little refreshments like little sodas and drinks and chips, if you want to sell them or if you just have them on hand, because sometimes people are hungry, that's great too. But set your boundaries. These type of issues in your business, it really tests your professionalism. And that's what defines you as a true professional, how you handle them, how you handle these conflicts, because you don't want to fight. Okay, you don't want to argue, and you don't want, because she actually could be a great client. She actually could be a long-term client, but it's just how you deal with her. After watching this video and after we having this conversation, if you ever dealt with any kind of conflict, put it in the comments. Let me hear what your experiences was. Have you ever dealt with this type of thing as a salon owner or a business owner, with people eating in your establishment and making it loud in there, and you didn't want that? Put it in the comments. And if you ever deal with a situation like this, just remember these things. Just be clear, be direct, have clear rules, clear understanding of your policies. The wind is crazy over here right now. I'm finna get from over here because the wind is crazy. That's how you maintain your cool. That's how you stay in control. So remember, have clear rules, calm delivery, and keep it professional, baby. Keeping it professional. And be consistent in your actions. Okay? Be consistent in your actions, because that's how you stay in control. 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 Shout out to Janet. And with that being said, I'll see you next time.